Guys, okay, welcome to the first episode of what I want to title Chi Knows Best. So this is similar to something I used to do called Chi Knows So Science, which was pretty much a segment all about health, nutrition. So I want to bring that all back. So now we're down to Chi Knows Best. Episode 1 of Chi Knows Best goes to a topic I've had in my mind to discuss, and in one of my earlier videos I did mention that I wanted to go into it, and I did say that it was going to be another video. And that was 2 years ago, so this is the other video. So what I want to, I just want to have one where it's a little edit, it's just straight to the point, and it's something that's a bit informative, light-hearted, and I might add a sprinkle of of cinematography, but we'll see how it goes. So, title of the episode of Chi Knows Best, episode 1, season 1. I don't know, season 1, where'd that come from? Is about being a vegetarian, and I guess there's two topics, as in how I found being a vegetarian for a year, why I wanted to become a vegetarian, why I wanted to try it, and also if being a vegetarian affects your gains. So come back in time with Pappuccino. It was back in 2017. It was around New Year's Eve 2017, I believe. Or was it 2017?
I have to use that phone a friend. This is $1 million.
Phone a friend. Hello. Quick question.
Hello?
Hello. Quick.
Hello?
Quick question. When did I become a veggie? Was it, what year was it?
So it was January 2017 to December 2017.
Oh, so December 2017 was my New Year's resolution for January 2018.
No. January 2017
Yeah.
to December 2017. The full year.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, I know. What?
I thought I'd do a video, and I couldn't remember when I became a veggie.
We're going. I don't know 2018. I know if I go 17. I know might have been 16. Yeah.
So that happened. So my phone a friend. So end of 2016 to the start of 2018. Sorry, 2017. So January 2017, I became a vegetarian. I said to myself that I wanted to see if I could do it. I had a few events lined up for 2017. So I had Tough Mudders and a Born Survivor, which was lined up. And my main idea was become a vegetarian will get me back into a routine, into an eating habit, which is not too strict. But at the time, eating meat is just an easy answer, really, because I say easy answer, what I mean is, if you want to get any meal ideas, go to the shop, go to Tesco, go to a supermarket, and you can easily find a meatball sub, ham hock, shredded beef, whatever. But in terms of if you track your food intake, they're more or less high in fat. If you were to spend money on a takeaway, you'd be spending money on, say, pizzas, whatever, burgers, and predominantly they are high in fat. So then my reasoning was, am I going to spend, say, £18 buying a pizza if you went to Domino's, Papa John's, Pizza Hut, insert your favourite pizza place here. Am I going to spend, say, £20 on getting a margherita pizza with sides? It's one of those where I'd rather try to make something that was more filling, but that's beside the point. So the whole premise of my whole vegetarian outlook was it's going to put me back into thinking about food, because when you come off prep, all you want to do is eat, and you don't really have I don't know, you don't have a plug. That's the only thing I can describe it. You don't have a plug to plug in your stomach and to go stop. So getting back into a routine, I feel like I needed that style of structure. So I had 2 competitions in April and I think in September. So my whole premise was, okay, well, everyone says if you become a vegetarian, you lose gains instantly. And I wanted to see, well, is that true? So I fixed my macronutrients on my MyFitnessPal. My food intake was relatively, well, again, if you track macros like I do, you have a set amount of carbs, fats, and protein to hit, and fiber, and also alcohol, if you want to factor that in. You don't need to factor that in, you just drink till you're drunk and that's it.
What are you guys standing around for? Let's do some shots!
So if you want to factor that carbs, fats and proteins in, so for me, as long as I was hitting my protein, whether it was through getting food or protein powder, I wasn't I wasn't like, oh no, this protein powder isn't vegetarian. Oh, isn't it? What are you going to do? I'm just going to use it. Okay. That was my mentality. It wasn't too crazy. And I wasn't too much like because again, it was a challenge. I wasn't really into it in the terms of, oh, I'm a vegetarian, so I'm not going to eat fish. So technically you could say I went pescatarian. But for me, I think there's different layers to doing anything. Just like if you went vegan, there's different layers to being a vegan. So it doesn't take away from the fact that you're less of a whatever, insert what class of vegan you are. You're still a vegan. So for me, if I didn't eat red meat or white meat like chicken, then it didn't take away from the fact that I didn't eat meat. And then there's this whole debate. Maybe you can fight in the comments. Is fish meat? Debate over. So for me, it was a case of, all in all, how did it go? So when it came to my first event, I did a Born Survivor, and I've already had videos where it was Life in HD series, and I'm sure you can find them, where it was pretty much, I posted about it. Anyway, and the results I found, now I beat it around the bush, was, come close, let me tell you, there was nothing different in my performance whatsoever. Why is that the case? I think that's the case because if you think about it, for a trained individual, they are already hitting the macronutrients, whether the protein source is from powder, meat, or soybeans, or whatever that isn't meat. As long as you're eating your carbs and fat and your protein in whatever manner, you're in either a deficit, you're in a maintenance, you're in a surplus for your goal. For me, I was in a maintenance, slight surplus to account for the activity that I was doing. I was still doing good amounts of cardio, I was lifting heavy, my main aim was to get stronger, so I was going to either be in a maintenance or slight surplus, so I would not gain fat. But that was the case. My training didn't change, it remained the same, so there was nothing noticeable in my protein switch. So what I find is predominantly people who go from a, say, meat-based lifestyle into one that isn't based on meat are more so people who maybe don't really account for the food that they eat. They claim to have a balanced lifestyle, but if you were to get a food funnel, no one remembers this. Anyone remember Biggest Loser? No, not Biggest Loser. No, actually, scrap that. Anyone remember Super Size versus Super Skinny? You might not do, but they had a food funnel, and they'd have the super size guy and the super skinny person stand side by side, and the funnel would drop down, and it would show the food that they've eaten that week.
But now what you get through, shall we? Breakfasts. Let's see how they compare. Sugary cereal. Leighton, what happens next? Lunch? Talk me through lunch.
So I in my head, I find people who predominantly ate meat who went onto veganism or vegetarianism, and they were like, oh, it's changed my life. Oh, it's a blessing. They're the ones who you get the funnel, and it's just like takeaway crap, you name it, just quick meals, fast food. But then when they switch to a lifestyle that isn't predominantly meat based, they find that they have to eat more greens and more veg, something that they weren't doing before. They'll probably have to drink more water to feel fuller. They're having high voluminous foods now because they're in a different lifestyle way of life. They're more active. They find that they're not as sluggish because, one, they're getting in more water, and two, because they think they're being healthy, they're probably going to go get to the gym and put that into use. So people attribute the lifestyle to, oh, I've felt more, energized, and I've lost all this weight. Whereas if you kept to a meat-based lifestyle, had a balanced diet and nutrition, you would probably get to that same level without feeling like vegetarianism or veganism changed your life. But more so, flip it back to me. It's all about me. What don't you understand? Yeah, I found no difference in my performance. I was keeping a relatively kind of informed outlook when I was in the middle of the born survivor and tough mother. I remembered how I fared in the last few years, and I thought, okay, at this point, at this time, I did feel like this, and I still feel like that now. And there could be a multitude of reasons, but I found that at the time, being a vegetarian didn't really affect me. It's in terms of performance. So performance, give or take, didn't really affect me. What I did like about being a vegetarian at the time was that it did allow me to think about more foods that I was eating. It did allow me to kind of have a better idea of, okay, instead of just getting something quick, how can I experiment and actually maybe try corn meals, try more different styles of fish. Meals where you think, oh, I'm not going to like that because it's not meat based, and then you actually try it and you actually think, I actually like it. So for me, I think a lot of people are stuck in this mindset that unless there's a meat component, it doesn't make a meal. But taking meat out of the equation, you find that it can make a meal. So in terms of that aspect, becoming a vegetarian, something that I found that was a really good decision for me. And then take it back to, I guess, any symptoms that I had when I started the lifestyle. When it came to the first, I'd say 2 weeks, my mindset was, okay, I'm fine. But even though within the first 2 weeks, I had meat sweats.
Here come the meat sweats.
I say meat sweats, I feel like they were meat sweats, even though I didn't eat meat, did I? But I had withdrawal symptoms, which was weird. I couldn't sleep. It's like cold sweats in the night. I was like, oh, meat. But no, it was weird. It was completely weird. But then after that, after I hit that wall, got over the wall, it was nothing then. And I guess it helped because Becca also decided to not eat meat, and you had a combined effort. And I didn't really have that many people who were trying to sway me to not eat, to eat meat. So I guess on that front, I was quite lucky. But I'm not really swayed anyway. So it wasn't really a big issue for me to deal with. And again, to round off this She Knows Best, I'd say that if you are the type of person who, one, likes a challenge, who wants to really test themselves, I'd say give it a go. I'd say try, and I'm not this advocate of, oh, don't eat meat, because I eat meat. But if you want a new challenge, if you want something that can really push you mentally, try giving up meat for a year. Don't be a vegan. You don't really need to go that crazy. You walk around a supermarket, you walk out with almond milk, and even then, some vegans will say almond milk isn't vegan. Think of the almonds. Think of the almonds. The whole point of this is to say, whether you eat meat, don't eat meat, you're a vegan, and if you think that switching is going to affect your training, it's all about the wider circle, and it's about what's your training style like, what's your macronutrient intake like, what's your water like, what's your sleep like, what's your work and stress like. There's so many factors that go into it. You know, on the day-to-day, how active are you, how many steps you get in? You know, are you the type of personality that overthinks the small stuff? If you are, then that might have a negative impact, hormonally speaking, and that might be the reason why maybe you're not, I don't know, doing this or doing that, and it's usually gaining or losing weight. Okay, I'd say as a final point, becoming a vegetarian or eating meat, it's not going to be the end of the world for your gains. And if you thought that advice was helpful, maybe share this video with someone who's thinking about maybe switching a lifestyle, and maybe leave a comment in the comment section if you liked it. I know. Hey, listen, leave a comment in the comment section, or a vegan person is going to knock on your door and scream in your face. How about that? How about that? Do you want that? Do you want that to happen? Do you want a vegan person to knock on your door and scream at your face? No. So subscribe and leave a comment down below. Okay, until the next one, I'll see you later. Bye.
Chino HD Training.